Hello, welcome to Bear Mountain today.
Hi.
We're working on the fenced garden. Some of the things that we're having to do is go through and dig out the blackberries that have established themselves in this area. We kind of wanted to talk a little bit today about the reclamation project this is turning into. What we originally built this area back in 2001, 2002. And for a number of years, probably about 6, 7 years, we raised most of our food in here. We had a very intense vegetable, flower, herb thing going on in here. We had arbors on the various sides with gates for access. And a lot of that stuff, we had roses over them. They looked really beautiful. But as time went, and because of our health issues and other things, we ended up basically having to step away from this garden, and nature kind of overtook it. And so that's what we're doing today, is bringing it back. Each of these beds are laid out to be approximately about 4 foot wide. The rectangular ones are approximately 12 feet long, and the outside perimeter has beds that are 3 foot wide and go along the outside between each individual gate. They're kind of an L-shaped beds. Then we have a circular flower garden in the center. We'll show a picture of this. And what we're going to do in the next month is get all the blackberries out of here. So that's kind of been the chore. We're getting rid of these guys. We want to make sure that these guys are well on being dead. Once we get them out, we're going to burn them, because we don't want these things getting reestablished anywhere. And it's quite a bit of work to do it. So what we're going to do in the video is just kind of give you some pictures of what it looks like right now, and then what it did look like from construction, and kind of what the layout looks like, so you guys can get an idea. Goal here is to get all the blackberries out of here within the next 2 weeks, so that we can at least begin some late spring stuff. We want to start with late spring things like get some cauliflower going, cabbages going, lettuces going. We got asparagus plants coming, so we're going to do a video on that and how we're going to plant them. We got some comfrey as an herbal thing that we're going to be using in our Korean natural farming. We got some of that we started, and so we'll kind of walk through, as we're doing each of those things, and kind of give a video on how we're doing that too. So, but today it's kind of like a walking tour, taking a look around. We have to redo everything in here, including the fences, the gates, the arbors, everything. So let's start taking a look. Okay, this is the pile we started with roots. Now, we're selling these on eBay for $12 a plant.
No, we're not. Jeez.
No, these guys are, this is what we're trying to get rid of, and this is just the start of a pile that we've dug out a couple of beds already. So we have to kind of burn this as we go. Otherwise, the pile will be many feet high and many feet wide. Also, too, any of the other stuff that's just refuse, like leaves or smaller stems and things of that nature, we're composting those guys up. We're going to use that in, once it's kind of done, as dressing, top dressing for the beds. And, the ash and stuff, the biochar from this pile, we're probably going to mix it up, break it up, and then turn it around to the individual beds. We have to do a soil test in here too before we really get rocking and rolling. The last one that was done in here was, well, probably 2002. So every bed has its own irrigation line to it, which is a plus. So that was put in. The irrigation lines actually run in the pathways, so they're all buried, and that's good.
Going right by your foot.
Right. I've checked the valves mostly. They're still good. So all we'll have to do when we get these beds going is just tap into these guys with some drip lines, and they'll be pretty good shape. So the valves are a little sticky, but they'll still work. So it's going to be easy to get things rocking and rolling in here from a planting perspective once we just get everything cleaned out. Wanted to show you some of the gates that we had.
Soil must be pretty good. Look at this elephant garlic.
Yeah, that again, that's naturalized on its own. So, and we want to save some of that because it's actually really good. The scapes are great to eat when they're ready in June. We just saute them up with a little avocado or olive oil, and they're really super good. And
so tell me about that gate.
well, this is one of, there are 4 gates, entrance gates to the fenced garden area, and that one is the most overgrown because the rose that was in it originally on both sides of the arbor was a very fast growing one, but unfortunately too it also became intertwined with blackberry. So we're going to be cutting this all the way down, and we'll clean that out and then remove the wire arbor that was in it. I'll give you an example of what one looks like now that we still have to just finish cutting down and remove the arbor. And you can see that the hog wire arbor just could not support the roses. Once we got to the point where the roses were covering it completely, and then we ended up with any kind of snow or ice, they quickly just went over.
So one side of that is still alive.
Right.
And the other side is not. But
right.
We can probably train that over.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is too is we can, once we get a little more fresh growth on this one, this is why I'm letting this go, because we're going to do some cuttings, some softwood cuttings on this to propagate this, because we only have one of this one left. And what we're going to be doing here is when we get some of these guys to grow out a few more inches, maybe out to about here, is we'll do softwood cuttings. We'll do a video on that and show you how we're going to do it. This is an own rooted rose, meaning it's growing on its own rootstock. It's an old rose. I don't believe there's any propagation plant.
It's called Cherry's Jubilee.
Right. It's pretty old.
It's a climber, big time.
And so what we'll do is we'll propagate this so that we have enough to do the other side, and then maybe also too, we lost some roses in the front, and we may redo that one too. The original idea in the garden is that there was different roses for each arbor, so it was kind of a different look. This was a nice red,
cherry
red, very beautiful. The one in the front was apricot, and the one off to our right, which is behind us,
I think it's pink, pale pink.
Pale pink, and there's like a Cecil Bruner, and then that was a kind of a white.
A whitish, yeah.
Yeah, not sure. So we lost a number of the roses in here, and we're gonna have to repropagate those guys. The idea is we're gonna get those back. We're gonna put better arbors in that can take the load of the plant plus the load of snow.
Sounds like a lot of people are working today.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people doing construction stuff around us.
So the beeping that you hear is another farm working on their property too.
Yep. Okay, so let's go and we'll put some pictures in, and we'll put some descriptions of what it was and what it looked like, and then what we're going to get to.
You need to know that these pictures that we're going to put in from the past are old pictures taken with an old style camera.
Right. It was an old Canon, like 3 megapixel camera. These things weren't loaded up on the cloud, so we're going to rescan them.
They're not going to be the highest quality,
see if
but
we can get them in to make them. We'll put in things that make sense.
But it'll show you what it looked like before, and we'll show the goal of what we're trying to return to.
Yep. So anyway, let's go and put those things in and have a discussion of that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the pictures that we put in there and kind of where it's been. And that we walked around, took some pictures today, showed you what it looks like now with the reclamation that we have to do on it. And it's going to probably take us really through the end of the summer to get everything back to where it's going to be. The fence built up to a good size, the arbors rebuilt, repropagating the roses to get the arbors back into shape, since we've got a number of dead roses in here. And so each of those steps is a project unto itself, and we'll get it documented as we go. So,
We're not going to wait though till the fence is done and all that to grow vegetables.
no.
We're going to grow and hope that we can just keep them safe from our critters.
Well, we'll show some techniques that we can do with things like bird netting and insect netting, or frost blanket covers and things of that nature that kind of keep the critters a bit at bay.
So what do you think is going to be the hardest part to do?
The hardest part,
The
the most
fence?
time-consuming part, is digging out all the blackberry.
The fence is not going to be easy.
Fence, yeah, but we can use a little bit of muscle from our tractor to kind of help us yank some
We
stuff
didn't
out.
have that the first time, did
No,
we?
didn't.
And the trick on the front part will be that some of those posts got to go right along a power line.
Yeah, they have to be specific to where they're
They
put in.
have to be almost to the same footprint.
Yep.
So that's going to be a little tricky,
Yes, it is.
but we've done it.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for watching today. And if you like our channel, if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, and also to the little bell for notifications, so you'll get notified when a new video comes out. Also too, we welcome comments. If you feel the spirit moves you, let's have a discussion. We're always open to that. And also too, hit the like button. Likes always help. They help in terms of the channel and in terms of getting material out to people. So it's always positive too, and it helps us understand. It's like, hey, are we doing a good job? So even if you don't feel the spirit to move you to make a comment, hitting the like button always can help us understand if we're moving in the right direction. So thanks again for watching today, and have a good day. Bye.
Bye.